Hey there, ready to unlock your full potential.
Ooh.
Today, we're diving into some seriously cool
For
strategies
sure.
for becoming the best version of yourself,
Uh-huh.
especially if you're aiming to crush it by the time you hit 20.
20, okay.
We've got this unique outline for a podcast
Okay.
aimed at young people just like you.
Okay.
Think of us as your personal shortcut to all the good stuff.
And the really fascinating part is that this isn't just some random list of tips.
Right.
It's a carefully crafted framework with 7 steps
I like it, a framework.
that build on each other.
Okay, so no lectures here, promise.
Yeah.
Let's jump right in.
Right in.
Step 1 is all about cultivating self-awareness.
Self-awareness.
This might sound a little woo-woo, but trust me, it's the bedrock of everything.
It is.
It's like this. Imagine you're trying to build a killer app.
Oh, okay.
You would just start coding randomly, right?
Exactly. You'd first need to understand the problem you're trying to solve.
Right.
Your target users, the available technology. Self-awareness is about understanding your own inner workings.
Okay.
Your strengths, weaknesses, values,
Yeah.
even those little quirks that make you, well, you.
Yeah, those little quirks.
Mm-hmm.
So how do we actually get to know ourselves better?
That's a good question.
The outline mentions journaling,
Yeah,
which can be great,
it can.
but I'll admit sometimes my journal entries sound like a grocery list.
What, like,
Got milk, paid bills, felt vaguely stressed.
oh, I see.
Not exactly profound insights.
Not exactly, no.
Yeah.
What's fascinating here is that self-awareness isn't just about grand revelations. It's about noticing those everyday patterns,
Oh,
those little choices and reactions that reveal what makes you tick.
I see.
It's like a scientist observing their experiment, gathering data.
Right.
Here's a simple exercise.
Okay.
At the end of each day, take 5 minutes to jot down 3 things you learned about yourself.
Okay.
It could be as simple as,
Simple as.
I realized I get super energized when I'm working on creative projects.
Okay.
Or I noticed I tend to procrastinate when I'm feeling overwhelmed.
I love
Yeah.
it. It turns self-reflection into a mini adventure.
It does.
And speaking of adventures,
Yes.
let's talk about setting clear goals.
Goals.
This is where we start turning self-knowledge into action.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, think of self-awareness as building the foundation of your dream house. Now, setting goals is about creating the blueprint,
Blueprint. I like that.
the detailed plan that will bring that vision to life.
Okay. The outline mentions SMART goals.
Ah,
It's an acronym I've heard
I
before.
bet.
But to be honest, it always felt a bit corporate-y.
Oh, I see.
Break it down for us in a way that actually makes sense.
Absolutely.
Mm.
SMART goals are simply a way to make your ambitions
Uh-huh.
more concrete and achievable.
I like it.
Specific means clearly defining what you want to accomplish.
Okay.
Oh.
So,
Measurable means having a way to track your progress.
got it.
Achievable means setting realistic goals that challenge you without feeling impossible.
So not shooting for the moon.
Not immediately, no.
Okay.
Relevant means making sure your goals align with your values and aspirations.
Okay.
And time-bound means setting deadlines to create a sense of urgency.
Time-bound. I like that.
It puts a fire under you.
So instead of just saying, I want to travel the world,
Yeah.
which is awesome, but pretty broad,
Broad, yeah.
a SMART goal would be more like...
Exactly.
Yeah.
A SMART goal might be,
Okay.
I want to save enough money to backpack through Southeast Asia for 3 months after I graduate.
I see. So
Yeah.
it's specific about the destination and duration.
Yes.
Measurable, because you know how much money you need to save.
Right.
Achievable with a solid plan,
Huh?
relevant to your desire for adventure,
Exactly.
and time-bound with that post-graduation deadline.
Precisely.
I love it.
Each element of the SMART framework guides you toward action. It's no longer just a dream.
Uh-huh.
It's a plan you can start working on today.
This reminds me of this study I read.
Yeah.
Researchers found that people who wrote down their goals were significantly more likely to achieve them
Interesting.
than those who just kept them in their heads.
It's amazing how simply putting pen to paper can make such a difference, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
like you're making a commitment,
Yeah.
not just to yourself, but to the universe.
I like it.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Feeling inspired.
Awesome.
Let's move on to step 3,
Right.
developing healthy habits.
Healthy habits.
I know. We've all heard this one a million times.
We have.
Eat your veggies, exercise, get enough sleep.
It's true.
But this outline digs a little deeper.
And deeper.
And I'm curious to hear your take on why this is so crucial,
Crucial,
especially for young people.
What's fascinating here is that habits aren't just about looking good or feeling good.
Right.
They literally shape the architecture of our brains.
Oh, influencing our thoughts, emotions, and behaviors.
Really?
And the younger you are,
Mm-hmm.
the more malleable those neural pathways are, which means you have a unique opportunity
Okay.
to build habits that will serve you for a lifetime.
Wow.
The outline focuses on 3 key areas:
Uh-huh.
diet, exercise, and sleep,
Okay.
which is spot on.
Okay. Let's start with diet.
Diet, okay.
I'm not asking for a lecture on kale smoothies here.
No kale smoothie.
But is there one common mistake you see young people making when it comes to nutrition?
One thing that stands out to me is this focus on restriction and deprivation.
Interesting.
So many young people get caught up in fad diets or restrictive eating patterns,
Right.
which can be really harmful, both physically and mentally.
Totally. It's like that saying, don't focus on the donut you can't have. Focus on the delicious salad you get to enjoy.
I like that.
Okay. Maybe not the most eloquent analogy, but you get the idea.
Exactly.
Okay.
Instead of obsessing over what you're cutting out, focus on what you're adding in.
Okay.
Make sure you're getting plenty of fruits, vegetables, whole grains, lean protein,
So, good stuff.
good stuff.
Okay.
These foods provide the nutrients your body and brain need to function at their best.
Love it. Nourishment over punishment.
Exactly.
Now, exercise.
Exercise, all right.
I'll admit, some days the struggle is real.
I hear you.
Any advice for those of us who aren't exactly gym rats?
The key is to find something you genuinely enjoy.
Okay.
Something that makes you feel energized and alive,
Uh-huh.
not something you dread.
Oh, I see.
It could be dancing, hiking, swimming, rock climbing, playing a sport.
So many options.
So many options.
Uh-huh.
And don't get caught up in the all or nothing mentality.
Right.
Even 15 minutes of movement is better than none.
Okay, that feels doable.
It is doable.
Lastly, sleep.
Sleep.
We all know it's important,
We do.
but I think a lot of young people underestimate just how crucial it is.
It's very crucial.
Hit us with a fact that will make us want to hit the pillow ASAP.
Here's one that always blows my mind.
Okay.
A recent study found that chronic sleep deprivation can actually shrink your brain.
Whoa. Okay. That's terrifying.
And not in a good way.
I'm officially locking off for the night.
I don't blame you.
So you listening,
Yes, you listening.
think about one small change you can make today to improve your sleep.
Yeah, like
Maybe set a bedtime alarm.
the bedtime alarm. Okay.
Ditch the screens an hour before bed.
Uh-huh.
Or create a relaxing bedtime routine.
I like it.
Trust me, your brain will thank you.
Your brain will definitely thank you.
And that brings us to step 4,
Step 4,
which is all about
learning continuously.
learning continuously. This is where my inner bookworm gets really excited.
And remember our chat about self-awareness.
Yeah.
The more you understand yourself,
Uh-huh.
the more you can tailor your learning to your unique needs and interests.
Right.
It's like having a personalized roadmap for your education.
Oh, I like that personalized roadmap.
Uh-huh.
The outline mentions books, courses, podcasts, mentors,
All good stuff.
all great resources.
Yeah.
But I think it's also important to remember that learning isn't just about formal education.
Right, right.
It's about being curious,
Yeah.
asking questions,
Mm-hmm.
and being open to new experiences.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
This raises an important question.
Mm-hmm.
How can we cultivate that mindset of continuous learning?
It's like shifting from I have to learn this
have to.
to I want to learn this.
Well, what to, yeah.
I think a lot of us get stuck in that have to mentality,
Yeah.
especially with school or work.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's all about reframing learning as an exciting adventure. Ooh.
An adventure.
Not a chore.
Right.
And a big part of that is embracing a growth mindset.
Growth mindset. Okay.
Believing that your abilities and intelligence aren't fixed.
Right.
They can be developed through effort and dedication. It's so true. Like if you hit a roadblock or don't understand something right away, it's not a sign that you're not smart enough. It just means you need to find a different approach or ask for help. It's like leveling up in a video game.
Ooh, I like that.
You got to try different strategies until you find what works.
What's fascinating is that research shows people with a growth mindset tend to be more resilient,
Okay.
embrace challenges,
Mm-hmm.
and ultimately achieve more than those with a fixed mindset.
Okay, I'm officially adopting a growth mindset.
I love it.
And speaking of growth,
Yeah.
let's talk about the people who support us along the way. Our network, our tribe, our crew.
A crew, yeah.
Step 5 is all about building a positive network.
Yes.
Okay.
You can have all the self-awareness and goals in the world, but if you're surrounded by negativity or people who hold you back,
Right.
it's going to be a lot harder to thrive.
Yeah, I can see that.
This is where finding your people comes in.
Finding your people. Those who inspire you, challenge you, and believe in your potential.
So how do we actually find these awesome people?
Good question.
Any tips for someone who might be feeling a little lost or lonely?
Well, first,
Okay.
remember that you're not alone in feeling this way. It's totally normal,
Yeah.
especially in your 20s when a lot of things are changing.
True.
And honestly, finding your tribe is an ongoing journey, not a destination.
I like that. A journey.
But there are definitely things you can do
Okay.
to actively seek out those connections.
Okay. Actively seek them out.
Think about your interests.
Okay.
Are there any online communities or forums where people are discussing those things?
Oh, yes. There are so many amazing niche communities out there, from book clubs to coding groups to entrepreneurship forums.
There are.
And don't underestimate the power of real-life connections, too.
Real life, yeah.
Volunteer works, local classes or workshops, even just striking up a conversation with someone at a coffee shop.
Oh, I love that.
You never know where you'll meet your next best friend or mentor.
You never know.
The key is to be open, curious, and proactive.
Open, curious, proactive.
Don't be afraid to put yourself out there and initiate conversations.
Yeah, don't be afraid.
And remember, quality over quantity.
Quality, yes.
It's better to have a few deep, meaningful connections than a ton of superficial ones.
I agree.
And sometimes that means letting go of relationships that no longer serve us.
Oh, that's hard.
I know that can be tough,
Yeah.
especially if it's someone you've known for a long time or care about.
Right.
Yeah.
It's important to remember that you deserve to be surrounded by people who lift you up, not drag you down.
Right.
It's not selfish to prioritize relationships that nourish your soul and support your growth.
Such an important message.
It is.
All right. Ready to tackle step 6.
Bring it on.
This one's a bit of a doozy.
Ooh, a doozy.
Embracing failure and learning from it.
Okay.
Deep breaths, everyone.
Deep breaths.
We all mess up, make mistakes, face setbacks.
We do.
It's part of life.
It is.
But this outline encourages us to actually embrace those failures.
Embrace them.
That sounds counterintuitive, to say the least.
It might seem counterintuitive,
It does.
but here's why it's so powerful.
Okay, I'm listening.
Failure isn't the opposite of success. It's a stepping stone.
Oh, I see.
Every mistake, every setback, every oops moment
Right.
is an opportunity to learn, grow, and become more resilient.
Okay, I'm starting to see the logic here.
The logic. Okay.
But how do we actually shift from feeling defeated by failure to seeing it as a learning experience?
Here's a technique I find really helpful.
Okay.
Think of it as conducting a failure post-mortem.
A failure post-mortem. All right.
After a setback,
Uh-huh.
take some time to reflect.
Reflects.
Not to dwell in self-pity,
You know?
but to analyze what happened.
Analyze. Okay.
Ask yourself,
Okay, asking myself.
what went wrong?
What went wrong?
What could I have done differently?
Okay.
What did I learn from this experience?
I love that. It takes the emotion out of it and turns it into a problem-solving exercise.
It does.
It reminds me of a time when,
Oh, yeah.
well, early in my podcasting career,
Okay.
I had this interview scheduled with this big-time entrepreneur,
Okay.
someone I really admired.
Cool.
I was so excited,
I bet.
but also super nervous.
I bet.
So nervous that I totally fumbled it.
Oh, no.
Like, questions were all over the place. The audio quality was terrible.
Oh.
I basically had a full-on meltdown mid-interview.
Oh, no. I can imagine how disappointing that must have been.
It was brutal.
Brutal.
But instead of just wallowing in self-pity and deleting the entire recording,
Right?
I forced myself to analyze what went wrong.
You analyzed it.
And I realized I hadn't prepared enough. I'd let my nerves get the best of me, and I hadn't properly tested my equipment.
Those are some valuable lessons.
They were?
Did that experience impact how you approach interviews now?
Absolutely. I learned to over-prepare for every interview. Practice relaxation techniques to manage my nerves and invest in better equipment.
Right.
Ironically.
Yeah.
That failure actually helped me become a much better podcaster.
That's a perfect example of how reframing failure can lead to positive growth.
I like it.
It's like that saying,
What's that?
sometimes you win, sometimes you learn.
Oh, I like that.
And that brings us to our final step.
Final step.
House step.
Okay.
Practicing gratitude and mindfulness.
Time for some good vibes. I have to admit, I used to be a bit skeptical about all this gratitude and mindfulness stuff.
I hear you.
It felt a little too woo-woo for me.
I think there's there's a misconception that gratitude is all about toxic positivity or pretending everything's perfect.
Right.
But it's not about that at all.
That's not.
It's about cultivating an awareness of the good things in your life, even amidst challenges.
So it's not about ignoring the bad stuff.
It's not.
It's about shifting your focus to the good stuff.
Exactly.
Okay.
And research shows that practicing gratitude can have some pretty amazing benefits.
Oh, cheers.
Like reducing stress,
Oh, yeah.
improving sleep,
Okay, I'm listening.
boosting self-esteem, even strengthening relationships.
Okay, I'm officially intrigued.
I knew you would be.
So how do we actually incorporate these practices into our daily lives? The outline mentions gratitude journaling.
Gratitude journaling, yeah.
What does that actually look like?
It can be incredibly simple.
Simple, okay.
Take a few minutes each day to write down 3 things you're grateful for.
3 things, okay.
They don't have to be big, life-altering things.
Oh, okay.
It could be a delicious cup of coffee,
Right.
a funny text from a friend, a beautiful sunset. The key is to train your brain to notice and appreciate those little moments of joy.
I love that. And for those of us who are new to mindfulness,
Yes.
any tips for getting started? The outline suggests trying a 5-minute meditation routine.
5 minutes.
I've tried meditation apps before, but I always end up getting distracted by my own thoughts.
It's totally normal to have a wandering mind,
It is.
especially when you're first starting out.
Right.
The key is to approach meditation with a sense of curiosity and non-judgment.
Okay.
Don't get frustrated if your mind drifts off. Just gently guide it back to your breath or whatever your focus point is.
Right.
There are some great guided meditations,
Okay.
specifically designed for beginners.
Beginners, okay.
And some even use nature sounds or calming music to help you relax.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah,
So we've covered all 7 steps,
we have.
but one thing that really strikes me is how interconnected they all are.
Right?
It's not like you just check off one step and move on to the next.
It's more like a dance.
So dance.
A beautiful synergy where each step enhances and supports the others.
Right, it all works together.
For example, you can't really set effective goals without first understanding yourself, right? And your ability to embrace failure and learn from it is greatly enhanced by having a positive network and practicing gratitude.
It's like a feedback loop of awesomeness.
It is.
And I think that's what makes this outline so powerful.
What makes it powerful?
It's not just about quick fixes or superficial changes. No. It's about cultivating a mindset and a lifestyle that supports your growth in every area of your life.
Exactly.
I like it.
It's about becoming the architect of your own life.
The architect.
Consciously designing a life that aligns with your values, your passions, and your aspirations.
So we've covered a lot of ground today.
A lot of ground.
And I know it can feel a bit overwhelming to think about implementing all 7 steps at once.
It can.
So let's bring it back to you, the listener.
You, the listener.
If you could only pick one of these steps to focus on for the next month,
One step.
which would have the biggest impact on your life and why? This isn't a test, just a little food for thought.
That's such a great question.
It is.
It really challenges you to think about your priorities and where you have the most room for growth at this moment in time.
Right.
Is it deepening your self-awareness, getting crystal clear on your goals,
Okay.
building healthier habits?
Yeah.
Or maybe it's about nurturing those connections, embracing failure as a learning opportunity, or cultivating a practice of gratitude and mindfulness.
So many good options.
So many options.
Whatever resonates with you most.
Yes.
We encourage you to dive deeper into that area.
Dive deep.
Read books, listen to podcasts, talk to people who inspire you.
Oh, great ideas.
Remember, this is your journey.
Your journey.
And there's no right or wrong answer.
And most importantly,
Okay.
be patient with yourself.
Patient.
Transformation takes time,
It does.
and there will inevitably be ups and downs along the way.
Ups and downs.
Celebrate your wins.
Yeah.
Learn from your setbacks.
Word.
And never stop exploring who you are and who you want to become.
That's a perfect note to end on.
It is.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of self-improvement.
Thanks for joining us.
We hope you've gained some valuable insights and, more importantly, a renewed sense of excitement about the incredible potential that lies within you.
Remember, the
Yeah.
journey to your best self starts now, one step at a time.
One step at a time.
We'll be here cheering you on every step of the way.
Until next time, keep diving deep.